Yeah.
Chicka, chicka.
Yeah.
Kill Bill and Rev. We don't suck.
Ooh. My name's Johnny, Ronnie's brother. Tell me about it.
Hey guys, welcome back to We Don't Suck, episode 39.
Episode 39, a sex thing.
It's a special episode. Shut up. It's not a sex thing. You're a sex thing.
Don't do this here. Not in front of these people.
You're gonna go back to the dungeon.
Don't embarrass me in front of my friends, okay?
Don't make me throw you back in the dungeon! Anyway, so this is an interesting episode because we're recording it just before we unveiled the rebranded channel, Chibi Chubby, and the new format and how everything looks, yada yada. So we haven't seen the reaction at this point just yet, even though by the time this episode comes out, it would have already been a week.
So thank you guys so much for all of your fucking goddamn words of encouragement and stuff. I mean, we haven't heard any yet, but we know that they're there.
Yeah, well, I know you guys have probably said some shit. So fuck you guys. Are you probably saying, oh, but I like Jaundice Bill and Goblin Purple Rav. What happened? Bring them back. Suck my ass.
All right. Yeah, I was thinking maybe that they like the new characters, and I'm thinking they love it. They're saying we want more of it. I like it.
Oh, we really want the backgrounds back. Why don't you do the backgrounds again? Different backgrounds and backgrounds. Fuck my ear, because you're not getting that anymore, because we don't have the time for that. We're moving in a new direction. We're evolving, whether you like it or you don't, okay? This is for us.
Okay,
this is our channel. We do what we want.
You're really confrontational. I'm getting some aggro vibes from you right now, man. I think that they're all probably pretty chill.
No, man, why would you say that? Why would you say that, man? Why would you assume?
I'm just reading the room. I calls it like I sees it, brother. Come here. We can hug this out.
Look, you honestly think everyone's gonna be happy. Okay, this is Bill's world. Oh, wow, change. I love change. Hey, I'm the average consumer, consuming everything for free online, and I'm just happy with things changing. Nothing makes me happier than change.
Okay. All right. You're happy and good.
Hey guys, where was the ad? There was no ad in the previous episode. Have you stopped doing the ads?
No, we haven't. We just didn't want to do an ad because we didn't feel like it.
All right. Yeah, okay. Can you come here for a second? Can I just pull you to the side for a second?
Yeah, sure. What's up, dude?
Yeah, the dogs are barking.
Yeah, dude, maybe you should pull them to the side.
Okay, well, I'll pull you to the side, brother, because you're just... Shut up! Because you're just fucking... You're losing it. You're losing it, brother. I need you to get it together.
What do you mean?
Because these people, they're listening.
What do you mean?
They're listening to every word you say right now, and now they're listening to every word I say. Listen to every bark my dog does,
Well, they better fucking listen loud and clear. We do whatever we like. I'm gonna do whatever I like. This is my channel.
All right. I mean, it's our channel,
My channel.
Both.
And yours, I guess.
Both people are involved, so I'm thinking, just calm down. I'm just saying, bring it down. You're like a 10. Let's bring it down to like a 2, It'd be chill, chill out. Maybe have some tea. You want some tea?
I don't know what you're saying.
Tea.
I don't understand.
Leaf juice.
Oh, I do wish to partake of the leaf juice.
What a fool.
Yum! I feel way better now, Bill. You know what? Maybe you're right. Maybe the people will love everything. They'll be like, hey, dude, love the fact that now I have to draw new characters for you guys. Love the fact that the backgrounds aren't there anymore. Love the fact that you guys have daily content now. That's kind of sweet. Love the fact that you guys are doing you regardless of what we want. Hell yeah.
I just imagine like someone being upset about daily content. Like people just, I like those guys. I just wish that there was less of them. you know, just like
There might be someone.
I'm sure.
Why
dude.
are they doing Let's Plays?
I've noticed like anytime there's a possibility for someone to complain about something, and I'm not saying like we have like a fan base that complains a lot. I'm just saying like in general on the internet, shut up. In general on the internet, it seems as though anytime that there's a chance for anyone to complain about anything, there's the person who complains about just anything that they can. I got distracted by my barking dog, but just imagine that what I just said made sense.
I see what you're saying. Whenever there's an opportunity for someone to be mad, they'll be mad. You know, someone's going to be mad.
Yes.
And I totally get you on that. And for sure, somebody's going to be mad at the fact that we have daily content now. And that's okay. If people are going to say, hey, why are you guys doing Let's Plays? Is it because everybody's doing Let's Plays? No, because we like playing games, motherfucker. Eat a dick. Oh, why are you guys doing a series? Are you No, ma'am, no, what? No.
Dude,
No.
it's because they know that we're
No
just
Academy.
trying to make money off of this YouTube channel that we're probably never going to make money off of, you know, and they know.
Yeah.
They're thinking in their head, they're like, look at them pandering, trying to get this money, this shmoney, you know, playing video games, changing their podcast, not being yellow and purple because that somehow makes more money, you know? And they're thinking to themselves like, wow, what sellouts? Meanwhile, we're doubling down and working way harder, making the same amount of money, which is nothing, and crying ourselves to sleep. Why? Because we wanna.
Yeah, the reality is like the channel is virtually unmonetizable, so we're gonna have to figure out some sort of financial strategy for it at some point. But in the meantime, we're just having fun. It's our playground where we do stuff that is fun. We do podcasts because Bill and I like to talk together. We do it all the time, and so we figured, why don't we just record these? Because we're.
I mean, I don't think I wouldn't say I like to talk to you. I just, you know,
Anywho, we like to play video games.
You know, we bounce ideas around. I hate you. You hate me. We fuck.
We play, like, we love video games. You know, if you're very familiar with us or our music, you will know that we grew up around video games, so they've been a very prevalent influence on us. And so, yeah, we enjoy playing video games. So if I can play games with my homie and have a good time, I'll do that. Homie! So that's what we're doing. And then as for the series, again, anime is another thing we grew up on. I dabbled with a little online in my teens, and it's just something fun. It's just a fun little creative exercise for us. So we're doing it because we do shit that is fun. And if we decide to do shit that is not fun for us, it will be our decision because we're in control and it's our channel.
Yeah, you get off of our backs. Now I'm with Rav on this. You guys shut up.
Dude, whoa, Bill.
Actually, honestly,
back off.
Don't comment on this video and don't like it. You know?
Dude, wow. Jeez, dude, what's happening to you, dude? What?
I'm getting fired up.
What are you saying, dude?
I'm getting fired up.
Whoa.
Don't do it. Actually,
dude,
if you do it, I'm going to be so mad that I might like it.
Whoa, calm down, Bill.
I might upvote it.
Whoa. Guys, I'm really sorry for Bill's behavior on this episode.
Listen,
I don't know what the fuck's happening. He's unhinged.
I'm mad. Mad, dude. I woke up this morning, 2 a.m., I mean, we didn't start recording until like an hour ago, but I woke up at 2 a.m.
Put some sad music underneath this.
I was working on, I wasn't working on anything. I woke up and I just, I couldn't sleep and I watched Angry Video Game Nerd, but
Right.
I work hard.
This is a really good story.
I work hard.
So,
that's a good story.
That was really good, Bill. Thank you for opening up. And so you see, guys, for all of our flaws, you cannot take away that our heart is in it. Because as you just heard, Bill is heartfelt.
How's your
Do you hear that? Bill's having fun.
Yeah, I'm having a lot of fun, dude. I'm fucking ecstatic to be here. How's your Uncle Gorgo?
Literally no one cares, Jesus Christ. What the fuck is this stupid-ass podcast? Why are you even listening to these two idiots blather on about their Uncle Gorgo or whatever the fuck he just said? It's literally nonsense.
Ad time.
Ad time. Dingy, 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 dingy. That's a cowbell, by the way. Dingy, 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 dingy. Does it sound...
Can you put a sound of soup slushing back and forth for this one instead of cowbells?
Sure. I'll do whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes. Whoa, what's happening today? So I have a question for you, Bill.
Oh, hit me with it.
Do you sometimes look at your dog and you think to yourself, you finna puke, bro?
Yes, this actually happened earlier. Go ahead.
You sometimes look at it and it's like, are you finna to puke, bro?
I ask that question to my dog out loud every time I look at it.
But the dog just looks at you with its adorable, dumb eyes like, bro, I can't speak human.
Yeah, it doesn't know. It doesn't know what it's being asked. It might, show excitement, but it's only because you're showing excitement. That's how dogs work. Except for my dogs. My dogs can understand me, but go ahead.
So I've got a product for you, Bill. This one's tailored for you. It's actually...
Go off.
Made only for you.
Just me.
Just you. And if somebody else is interested in this product, go for it. But it is very much a novelty product, specifically tailored to your needs.
Hit me with it. Hit me in the face.
Remote control Barf-O Doggo.
That's a great name. Is that the name that they came up with? Or?
That's the name of the company.
Oh, well, Remote Control Barf-O Doggo presents a Remote Control Barf-O Doggo?
No, they present the Boop.
Oh, the Boop. Oh, that's cute.
The Boop is a remote control that it can basically make your dog vomit on command. So next time you look at your dog and you say, are you finna to puke, bro? You press the button on the Boop and the dog vomits and you're like, yeah, you puked, bro.
Yeah, dude. If I don't get a little bit of dog vom in my mouth in the morning, I'm just upset.
So, Bill, tell me why you're excited about this product and about the idea of getting your hands on one.
Well, I need 10, honestly.
Okay, tell me why you can't wait to get 10 orders of Boop.
Well, I mean, just sometimes I'll be hanging out with my dog and I'm like with my friends and I'm just like, yo, check out my dog. And they're like, yeah, dog's cool. A little boring, a little bland. Is this dog vanilla?
Oh, is this? Oh, wow, yeah, cool. It's a dog. Anyway, can't. Okay. Oh, it can't puke.
Yeah. They're like, oh yeah, sure, it's cute and adorable, but where's the sauce? I look them dead in the fucking eyes.
Right.
And then I just hit the button. I hit the button on the Boop, and my dog says, right there, and. There's actually some settings that I've really enjoyed. I don't have one, but I want one, and I would enjoy them.
Yeah, you've enjoyed reading about.
I've enjoyed reading about on Reader's Digest, my favorite magazine, booklet, whatever you call that.
It's funny, digest, because
they
it's
always
like
say they can't, Bill, you never catch Bill without his Reader's Digest. Anyway, so
truth.
So there's that one, the hacking one. That dogs are famous for, but there's also like a bleh setting, It's just like a really like, human like kind of sound. That's like what I'm really looking forward to, because that's going to set my dog apart from the other dogs. Because all the other dogs, they give you that sad like thing, but I want like a bleh.
No, see, I'm excited about the solid vom, the one that comes out like Jello out of a can,
comes out like an ice cube.
Yeah. Okay, not that solid. I wasn't gonna crank it up that hard.
Yeah.
Just it's more solid than it is liquid.
Well, I'm a trendsetter.
And just comes out like flam.
Yeah. It comes out. It looks like the
flam.
It looks like the family function Jello, whatever it is that they put Jello in the cake in the Jello or something. I don't know what it is.
But brown.
I don't know what's going on anymore.
Good ad, good dogs.
Good dogs. Gonna kill him. Gonna murder him.
When was the first time you got a dog, Bill?
Oh, let's see. It was the first dog I ever had was actually not my dog. It was my neighbor's dog, but it chilled out at my house more than with the neighbors, and we actually ended up feeding the dog, so it might as well have been our dog.
Oh, okay. I see.
His name, I named him Solo after
Absol.
Han Solo.
Oh,
What did you think?
I thought it was after Absol.
Yeah, exactly. After Absol when I was like 7 years old.
And so was he.
Yeah, no, he was cool. He was a black lab or something.
Whoa.
He was some kind of dog that was...
Dude, would you sometimes like see him and be like, back in the lab again? Whenever you fed him, where you're like, oh, back in the lab again.
Yeah, I did. I said that. I was like, back in the lab again, and then he'd just fucking vomit.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
On command?
Yeah, he was good about that. But yeah, we used to, he'd come, we'd roll around. You know, I get all dirty. I come home, come inside, and then my mom be like, what have you been doing? I'll be like, I've been playing with that dog again. And she's like, why do you sound like an old Southern lady? And I don't know, you know? So, yeah, I miss Solo. I hope he's still alive.
You got 3 eyes. 3 eyes.
If he was still alive, he'd be like a 30-year-old dog, I'm sure.
Yeah, dogs don't live that long.
I mean, he could. What about you, man? Tell me about your first dog experience.
Man, I was too young to remember, but I think we had like a German Shepherd. I think my grandma had it when I was living with her for a little bit in the countryside, in the mountains in the Urals in
The Urals?
Russia.
Ooh.
The Urals, yeah. It's basically the mountains that separate Europe and Asia.
Oh.
And that's where she lived, and I think that's where I was staying at. And I vaguely remember a German Shepherd being there, and the German Shepherd was pretty tight. I don't remember the name of the dog, but we could just pretend it was Spielberg.
Yeah. That was my first thought.
For the sake of the story, let's refer to the dog as Spielberg.
Spielberg.
So, good dog. That's the end of my story.
That's good, dude. That's good.
Thank God I gave the dog a name. Otherwise, you wouldn't have kept up with the story.
I actually kind of lost track a little bit.
Yeah.
As soon as you said German Shepherd, I started thinking about Germany and how, you know,
Yeah.
they're just like, you know, they got good beer,
Right.
you know? And so I was just
Yeah,
thinking about beer.
They do.
And you kept talking, and I heard nothing but Spielberg after that, you know?
Right, yeah.
So still don't know what happened.
Dude, I spieled my berg for you.
Dude, don't fucking
What does
talk to
that
me ever
mean?
again.
I don't know what that means. I'm just saying things.
Yeah, man. Dogs are cool. I want to kill mine. Still surprised I haven't killed them, but I love them.
Explain.
I mean, you know, they just they bark a lot.
But they only ever seem to bark when we start recording. Like, I'll be talking to you for hours before a recording session, and as soon as we start recording, the dogs just fucking know. Okay, it's time.
What can I say? Speckles is a real ham. He wants to be a rapper.
Okay.
And he hears that microphone humming, turns it on. You know, dogs, they can hear things that we can't. He hears that microphone humming. You know, hears me fire up the old generator for the mic.
Your laser, dude.
And he's just like, it's my time. And he spits some bars. And I imagine they're good. I imagine they're good bars. I can't understand them. I'm not fluent.
Dude, were you firing up your laser?
I think they might be in some sort of like Russian. Maybe you know a little bit of Russian, you know? So maybe you should,
Just keep talking, Bill.
Okay.
Go ahead. Keep going.
And he is good boy. I'm gonna kill him, you know. And he speaks Russian.
Please go on.
He speaks Russian. The dog speaks Russian.
And
He speaks in a way that is not my fluent tongue.
because
I don't speak Russian, but this dog can.
and so
That's now I'm nervous. You know, you're putting me on the spot. to keep going, and I'm just a little scared. I'm scared for my future and everyone else's involved.
Therefore,
you know, you do anything later, dude? You want to like go down to the arcade? Went to the arcade the other day. It was pretty cool. You wanna go down to the arcade?
Oh, yeah. No, man, I would love to, but I have this thing. I can't. It's a
what
thing.
What you got going on, man?
Oh, dude, this fucking I got a JO, dude. So I can't put it off. I've scheduled that. I've booked.
You scheduled an arcade visit?
No, I've scheduled a JO session, and I can't put it off. I got the venue booked and everything.
What is the JO session exactly? Why would you need a venue for that?
The privacy, of course.
Right. Where are you gonna do it?
My living room.
Can I come?
Dude, no, because sorry, I've got a thing.
Oh, you got another thing?
Yeah.
What is it?
The second JO session that follows shortly after the first one.
So I can't come to either of those.
No, I'll be coming, so you can't.
Right. Okay. Do you want to go to the arcade tomorrow, maybe, or?
Hi, I'm the living room comer. I come so you don't have to.
What do you think about like me buying a boat?
Why would you get a boat?
It'd be kind of cool to just like be on the water and like go from one place to another on the water instead of like swimming.
I mean, we talked about this.
Yeah.
Like,
let's talk about it again.
Like 8 years ago, no?
Yeah, well, we did. We did actually talk about buying a boat and just traveling the seas.
It's going to happen one day, you know? I was planning ahead.
Yeah. I mean, you just watched and read a lot of One Piece.
I mean, that I was doing way before that then, too, you know? I've been doing it since I was a kid. So...
Boating?
No, One Piece, dumbass.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know if you were just really, you know...
No.
I just imagined like a really young you just going like, she's seaworthy. And like looking at a boat.
I was growing up a pirate, yeah. No, I mean like
she's seaworthy.
By then I had already like been in like multiple boats and everything, and
yeah.
I just always loved water.
Right.
And as much as, you know, in my music I kind of use it as a metaphor for depression, I do enjoy the ocean, and yeah, it just kind of gives me that sense of freedom and everything. And I thought it would be cool if one day we could have our own yacht. And it'd be great because we could set up a studio in one of the rooms, you know?
Yeah.
And just the idea of us being out on the water, just playing games, cooling, eating good food, going from like one coast to another coast. Like, I'm not saying like actually crossing the ocean all the time, you know, just kind of traveling coastally and making music. And to me, that just seemed like, that's an ideal way of really detaching from
everything,
communities where people live and society and everything. I don't know. It's just that idea in itself always seemed really cool to me, and so that's what we're gonna do. That does
sound like a really cool idea. We could all go on a boat. I have this like weird thing what I want to do, and I know this sounds real crazy, okay, but like I want to do everything that you just said, but also like do some deep sea fishing while I'm out there, you know. And like I'm allergic to seafood, right? So I can't eat it even if I wanted to, but I want to catch a marlin and just punch that son of a bitch and toss him back.
Okay, as long as you don't hurt it too bad. Don't hook it. Like, catch it with your bare hands, punch it, and then let it go.
That's how I fish, dude. I jump in the water, I look at him, I punch him, take him. The first punch is to knock it out, okay? Then I get you to cast the net down, which catches both of us, and you pull us up, you know?
Yeah.
Me.
And I hang both of you by your feet.
I'm a pretty heavy guy, and then on top of that, you got like a 600-pound marlin, you know?
Yeah.
And
I'm thinking, like, why don't you give it a noogie?
I mean, we could do that too, but I really just want to fucking punch that fucker, you know?
But I'm dead ass serious. I want to do that one day. At least, I think, you know what? I've matured. So what we're going to do instead, maybe like a year from now or a couple years from now, we could rent a yacht out and just kind of set up a makeshift studio with a booth and everything in one of the rooms, and go out for like a period of 2-3 weeks, have like someone like a captain in the yacht who would be sleeping like in a very separate section. They usually do if you hire a captain and like an assistant. They would basically help cook shit and just make sure that we don't float too far away. They'd take us from point A to B to C, and we would just be doing our own thing.
That sounds like a good idea.
But for next year, I actually had a plan. I want to do this thing with you that I've been thinking about for a while.
Butt sex?
Dude, you took the words right out of my mouth.
I know that's what you were thinking. I think that there's this thing just inherently when we both talk about seafaring ways, we both just started getting real horny. So
yeah, so no, I wasn't actually thinking about sex, but you can keep that one.
I'll keep it in the back pocket.
In the back pocket, yeah. No, I was going to suggest that we rent out like a cabin or a home somewhere for a period of 3 weeks. So let's say like a big ass home in Thailand in the middle of a rainforest, right? Mm-hmm. We rent the place out for 3 weeks. We hired a security guard, just one, for the duration of our stay there. And the first week, we just do nothing but chill and make music. The second week, our partners could come visit us and stay with us for that week.
Right.
And then they would leave. And for the third week, we would again just work on nothing but music and like just being in our own kind of world, do that shit, and then leave. And just do that once every year. And every time it'd be in an unfamiliar location to us both, so that we would kind of sync up in terms of our wavelengths and get into a zone. Because when you're surrounded by the same environment, same vibe, same people all the time, I'm not saying it'll make you stagnant or anything artistically or creatively, but it's just more likely that you are going to come up with new ideas and new things if you are subjected to new stimuli, right?
For sure. Yeah, for sure.
So I was thinking doing that, and we don't have to start in Thailand. We could start in like a cabin in a forest in Washington State somewhere, right?
Yeah.
Or Maine or whatever, and just doing that every once a year. I think 3 weeks is long enough, and having that 1 week where our girls could come and stay with us would make it a little more bearable for all of us, And it's a legitimate thing I was thinking about.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it was like that when we went to LA. I couldn't imagine for you because you went so long without seeing your.
Yeah, 5 weeks.
Yeah, so it was like 5 weeks for you.
And I lived with her for 4 years,
like Jordan came with Shane, to the show for just a few days. So it was a little bit more bearable for me, I guess, because I actually got to see her. But yeah, definitely. It would be nice just to take like a week and do a whole bunch of music and stuff like that. And then have like a little week that's like almost just like a vacation. Like we just chill, have a good time, and then have another week where we like really just go hard on some music shit. That would be really fun. I think that that's like the creative process for a lot of people is to like go and do like that. I don't know, I've seen like Run the Jewels do stuff like that before, and like I remember looking at that and I was like, wow, this looks so much fun. And so the idea of like being isolated and doing music is kind of intriguing to me, because
so what did Run the Jewels do? Could you explain? Because I never heard of this.
I think that they had like when they were working on Run the Jewels 2, they were like in a cabin, I'm wanting to say.
Okay.
That was like farther away. Because it was like, I don't know if it was they did a thing where it was like a video of them in a cabin and it looked like it was pretty remote, Right. And it seemed like a chill. I don't know. It could have been like, like right down the way from a city or something. But it looked like it was kind of like out of the.
A$AP Rock stayed in a cabin throughout the like writing process of The Impossible Kid, I believe, as well. But I'm sure, like, a lot of rappers, producers, musicians, just artistically inclined people have probably done something similar. I'd be surprised if not, right? So I just think it's not a novel idea, but I think it's a good idea. And it's like just going to LA definitely put me in a different place in my head, than what I'm kind of used to. And so that's nice. I welcome a change every now and then, and doing it at least once a year, I think is a good idea.
For sure. I think the difference and what we're talking about now in like LA was like LA, I felt like it was a lot of it where like a lot of work that we had to do that was like not necessarily about creation and more about like, and we had the show going on, we had the podcast stuff with the yeah, so yeah, but like we were doing all this stuff that was not necessarily about creating music, and it felt like it was almost, I wouldn't say secondary, but it was like we had a whole bunch of stuff that we had to do that was like immediate.
For sure.
You know?
Yeah.
And even like the networking in terms of like the friends that we made and stuff like that. Like I don't like to use the word networking because I think it feels like fake, but it's just like actually like meeting people that we think are interesting that we like to work with in the future.
Yeah, networking sounds weird because it makes it sound contrived, but it definitely wasn't. It's just, it was networking because that sort of can be perceived as the outcome of what we did. But generally speaking, we were hanging out, right? And
yeah, for sure.
Even while we went out there with the intention to do all the aforementioned things, we did actually record music while we were out there. And when we did record music, I was definitely mentally and creatively in a very different space than I'm sort of used to. And so I really like that. And if so, we set out with the intention to specifically go somewhere to create music.
Yeah.
I think then we'll be able to manage our time even better.
Oh, yeah, for sure. That was what I was getting around to, was that I think that excites me, the idea of shutting everything else out. Because there in LA, it felt like everything had a distractive property to it. Like there's so much stuff going on. Like, oh, so-and-so is going to do this tonight. We should go with them because it'd be like a really good time and make a lot of memories and stuff. But like the idea of like going to a cabin and shutting yourself out, or going on the water and shutting yourself out from everything and just like making stuff, that's like super exciting to me, the idea of
absolutely that. Yeah, it sounds like it would be a very freeing experience.
I mean, I gotta just get this off my chest though. Are we taking the Marlin punching like off the table, or is that still like an option?
Fuck it, let's do it.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was thinking we should really just fucking lay into that sucker, you know? He's ugly.
Bill, I wanted to ask you, because I mean, I assume some people would want to know this. Like, what is your favorite thing? What are some of your favorite things about doing rap as a career? Like, you're a career rapper, as am I, right? What are the things that make you the happiest about doing rapping as a career? And what are the things that can be kind of difficult? Are there any pressures, difficulties? Are there any downsides basically to you being a rapper?
I would say the upsides are pretty obvious, I think. I mean, like, prior to, and I mean, you were in the same thing prior to, like when we were both working full-time jobs, it was just it wasn't fulfilling for me. Whereas like this, I feel excited about what we're doing, you know, like, or what I'm doing or what you're doing separately even, you know. I think that it makes me happy in a sense that I can put something out and people will either like it or have something to say about it, or have an opinion in general, or like connect with it. That excites me. The idea that it's like you can do something and it makes a thing happen, like, and you can't necessarily see it, but it's just like this thing that you're creating and you're making people feel things. I like that. I like the aspect of like you're making, it's also just a cool job in general to me, like in terms of like explain to people. It's getting a little bit better now. When people ask me what I do, I say that I rap and I do a podcast. That's my or I say I rap and I do YouTube.
You rap. I mean, we do YouTube too. Yeah, I mean, YouTube is not a lucrative thing for us. It brings us no money. In fact, we spend money into making it look dope and all that, and we spend time into making sure everything looks and sounds right. But yeah, our jobs first and foremost is rapping.
Well, I think that there is like an innate, like, even though they're two separate things and two separate sources. Well, one's not even a source of income, but I do think that the other one kind of supplements in terms of like, I don't know. I think a lot of people like to listen to us and hear like what makes us tick, and that also helps turn people on to the music. You know, and I think that was kind of like what we set out to do. Not necessarily like, oh, we're going to do a podcast, everyone's going to like our music. Not like that. But I do say that it's a part of my job because it feels like this is the part that feels like job to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is like the part that's like we're working on something that even though it's fun, it's definitely, I think, harder than making music because it's like you gotta do it more. You know what I mean? Like, like with the Let's Play stuff and like this, like it feels like it's something you gotta do. Like I'm like waking up and this is like, it feels more jobly to me. I don't know how to explain it.
I sort of see what you're saying. To me, I never say that that's like part of my job because maybe I don't associate it. Like rapping actually, pays the bills and I'm able to save money with that. Whereas YouTube, if anything, it's like I put money into it, I invest money into it, as do you, and we put effort into it. But it's something that's kind of like really fun that we engage in, and I guess I don't see it as a job because it doesn't bring us anything just yet.
Yeah.
But I see what you're saying in the sense that it's jobly, in the sense that we have schedules, we have things that we do. I mean, the past few months, and I say especially the past 3 weeks, I've been working on it every weekday. I've been working at least 8 to 9 hours every day, making sure that everything looks the way that it does, so that everything feels the way that it does. And so I definitely see what you're saying in that regard, because I probably spend a lot more time currently on this. But then again, I think it's because we're very fortunate with rapping being our career. It kind of allows us the luxury of doing stuff like this, like extracurricular stuff or whatever you want to call it, right?
I think that they're kind of tied in together in a sense of like they're very separate,
for me, they're very separate things. Yeah,
they're very separate, but I do think that to me, it feels like,
well, they're supplementary by virtue, just of us like being personal on podcasts, or us being personal in music. People like our music. People like how personal we are in the music. So if they're interested in the persons behind the personalities behind the music, they might look us up on YouTube and vice versa. So it supplements in this kind of like a way, but in my head, they're very separate things.
Yeah, no, for sure. I also think that there's a part of me that if I say like, oh, I rap for a living, and I'm not saying that I really care anymore about like what people think about it, but if I'm explaining it to someone, if I say like, oh, I rap and I do YouTube, even though I don't think that I am a person who does YouTube, it doesn't feel like that. But if I say it to people, they're like, oh, I get it. But if I just say I rap, they like look at me like, okay, go on.
See, I'm glad I'm not in that position mentally anymore. I actually had my first conversation with my mom a few weeks about me doing music. She basically found out, I mean, she's always known that I've done music and all this stuff on the side, but she knows I quit my job to pursue a self-employed path, and she knows I own a company and this and that, but she didn't know just how much, like, what was really paying the bills. And she found out that I have a certain amount of success doing music, and she ended up being incredibly supportive, something that I didn't expect. She was very proud and just very happy. She said something to me because she knows that growing up, I expressed it very clearly. I always had this passion for hip hop. I kind of talked about it all the time. It's all I did. So she knew, but no one in my family was like, yeah, you should do this. Like, you should do this seriously. You should do this as a career. I never really played any music for them. I did none of that. They just kind of always brushed it off, and they always told me that it's not something to pursue and that it was unpredictable. And we've talked about this on a previous a couple of episodes where, you know, any job is unpredictable. You can make a music path a lot more predictable than just like singing and hoping that your songs do well. You know, it's all about diversifying your sources of income, et cetera, et cetera. But she said something that really hit me like in a I don't know, something that I needed to hear, basically. She said that, I'm proud that you went and succeeded in doing something that you wanted to do in spite of us all telling you that it wouldn't work, you know?
Yeah.
And so she applauded the tenacity, and I said, that was her response to when I said to her, but don't you feel embarrassed that now, like, if people ask you what your son does, you need to tell them I'm a rapper. That's what I do. I'm a rapper. I put food on the table by putting words together, stringing words together on top of music. Mm-hmm. And she thought it was, again, I didn't expect her to say it, but she thought it was really cool. She thought it was a very noble thing to do.
I think from the perspective of, it was really different for me. I know we kind of talked about this before, but for me, like my parents knew what I did. Like, they've always been sort of supportive. They didn't really understand it at first. And I think my mom thought I was I'm not going to say that she didn't believe in me, but my dad was kind of just disconnected from it. Like, he didn't quite get it. You know, he doesn't like listen to rap like that. And my mom.
But it could have easily been a phase for us, right? Because lots of kids during their day went through the band phase.
My mom was very supportive. I remember, like, when I went and bought my microphone and stuff, like, she was all like, okay, like, she could tell I was being a little bit more serious about it, but I don't think she really thought that it was going to go anywhere. I think she thought I was just going to get like a normal job and whatever.
Yep, same.
And I think that she saw when I was going to class, like, I was going to school, I changed my major like 4 times.
Right.
Because I wanted to make music. That's what I wanted to do. And like, I was just like so lost. Like, I didn't know what I wanted to do as a career path. Cause like, I mean, there was a long time where I didn't know what I wanted to do. And she felt that, like, she was like, okay, well, you need to do what you want to do. But she was also like, okay, but you have to like be realistic about it. And then like when it became more realistic and she saw that I was kind of in a rut, like, you know, I was working as a server in a restaurant, and I'm not hating on that job at all, but it wasn't what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. I didn't look at it as like a career path I wanted to do. And then she saw me getting more and more support online and stuff. She was just kind of like, yeah, no, she was like one of the main factors in me like quitting my job. Like, she was like, nah, you need to get out of there.
That's nice.
So I think it's like such a different, because you had that like disconnect with your mom. Like, you didn't have that.
Right,
like,
exactly. And, you know, my stepdad, he a very successful man, you know, someone who ended up going to Oxford University and graduated and did law and is a very successful lawyer. So growing up around that, your expectations for yourself are heightened, right? Because everyone's expecting you to be a doctor or a lawyer and stuff like that. And so deep inside, I try to tell myself that that's what I'd be. I kind of project. Like, I'd look at people that are successful and try to think, somehow I'm going to get to that point. And I don't think I ever fully believed in it. And that scared me. And I didn't know what I wanted to do. I don't think I ever consciously thought, man, I want to do this rapping thing as a career. It's just something I love doing. I did it all the time, and it's something I enjoyed doing. But I don't think I even considered it as a career, because I thought if I would, it would be like I'd fail in everybody's eyes. Everyone who's been putting money, effort, time, and everything into me, they wanted to see me become a certain thing. And I thought I was going to fail everyone. You know, as I matured and everything, I was able to start disconnecting myself from other people's perceptions of me. And I try to zone in on my own perception of me and tackle that and wrestle with that. And over time, I did. I think I became more comfortable with the idea of just embracing these creative whims that took me left and right. And so I did it. And we've been fortunate that it's been working out. And we're very fortunate that it seemingly never gets old. And now we have like supporting families, or at least supporting members of our families when it comes to it. And, you know, you can kind of understand from at least your mom's perspective, I can totally understand, because during her time when she was younger, I'm sure there were so many people that formed bands, you know? And even now there's people who form bands or start rapping and everything who do it for a few years and then they drop it and move on, right? So of course, why would people suspect that, oh, well, he's going to succeed, or he's going to be the one, he's going to be for real. You know, it's a weird thing to assume that your son who's just started rapping or just enjoys doing this one thing will somehow make a sustainable career off of it, you know? So I kind of get it.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think they were just, my mom wanted me, because she did poetry all her life. She's always wrote poetry.
Same here. That's funny. My mom's a published poet under a pseudonym.
Yeah. And my mom, I think that she saw, especially when I started kind of finding myself, like Ramona era, like she saw, like she was like, okay, this isn't like just like, I think that she thought that I was doing something just to be cool.
Yeah.
Like rapping just to be cool or something when I first started.
Yeah.
Which I mean, like, to an extent, I wouldn't
course.
say I was trying to do it to be cool. I was always kind of creative or whatever, but it was like less personal then. And I think now when she hears stuff that is like super personal, she sees that it's something that I like really cared about, you know, at the time, you know, and like now even, you know, but like, I think that when she saw that it was like poetry and it wasn't just like me rapping over, because like, I mean, prior to all this, like I would always like rap over like Southern beats, and I would do like really like Southern hip hop shit, which I'm still a nerd for.
Yeah.
But it's not as personal to me. Like when I was doing stuff, it felt like I was like playing a character. And when I like shed that and became just like me, I think she got it a little bit more. And it wasn't just like.
Well, also around Ramona was like your first effort where it was like a complete product. Up until then, it was like bits and pieces. But Ramona was, it's, you know, there's like, it's a full thing from start to finish.
Yeah.
And it sounded very polished. It sounded focused. It sounded good. The writing was just so personal and beautiful. So I think everything, all of that enforced maybe not enforced. I think maybe that's what helped kind of her see it for something more than, you know, like, oh, this guy's he's just trying to be cool. It's like, oh no, he needs this. So now it's like, that's why I'm getting more confident with just telling people, because, you know, if filing taxes, talking to lawyers, talking to accountants, you're going to have to tell people what you do for a living. And there's only so many ways that you can kind of beat around the bush until you get to the, you know, core. So I just say I rap, and in my head it's like, yo, no, you know what? Even if the other person's perception of it doesn't like align with how I see what it is, what I do, I know that I put together words that are therapeutic to me.
Yeah. I'm not like really like self-conscious about it in that way. Like when I did my taxes, I was like, yeah, I rap on the internet. You know, that was like I say on the internet a lot of times here because like I don't do it.
How come?
I don't do it here. Like I don't rap here. Like I don't do
but
shows.
You rap.
I know, but when I say like I rap, it's different where I'm at, because it's like it's a small town and it's like everyone knows everyone. And it's this weird, like, I feel like I do rap. I just rap. Obviously, I rap, but I put things out on the internet and I don't like outwardly promote it here. So it makes me feel like I should, not that I should say, but when I say it, it makes sense to come out. It makes sense in my head when I say it that way. You know what I'm saying?
Do you think they'd misunderstand it basically if you didn't preface it with that?
Well, it's the thing is like if I just say I rap here, it's not like I'm not from like a big city. So if I just say I rap, people look at you like, and like what do you make money doing? And if I say I rap, I just keep saying I rap, they're gonna like look at me like I'm not like self-conscious about it. It's just like it would be awkward in the conversation to just be like I rap and just like look at them. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Whereas,
yeah,
because like there's
okay.
no one does that here. Like there's no one here that's like raps for a living. It's just not a thing.
And that's cool.
It is cool. It is
you.
cool. I think it's cool. I think it's interesting. I'm just saying that like sometimes I feel like I have to like not preface it, but yeah, kind of preface it with like, I rap.
Contextualize
and
it.
Blank, 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 blank,
yeah.
blank. You know, instead of just
I get it.
looking at them like I rap and then they give me this like confused look. Not even like a hater look, just like a huh. You know, so
Yeah, for sure.
But like if you go when we're in LA and you say like, oh, I rap, and then they're like, oh, okay, cool. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just like a different thing altogether.
Yeah, that's true. Well, especially because like everybody would, you know, whenever like we were chilling with, let's say, Ross or Matt or Frank, and we'd meet new people, they'd be like, oh, these are my rapper friends, you know? And that's it. And people are like, oh, okay, cool. And when other people were introducing us to other people, they'd be like, these are my animator friends, or these are like, you know, they're artists and stuff like that. So it was cool because it was more of an environment where people totally understood that, okay, you do art. That's really all it is. You do art. Got it. Cool. Whereas if you're in a small town where no one really does that, if you do not provide it with some sort of context for it, it might be a little awkward in terms of like the conversation it's like, moving naturally.
The reason why it's like weird here is because like when someone says, what do you do for a living? If you work in this town, it's so small, like, you know where that person works. If they say like, oh yeah, I work in the steel industry. Oh, so you work over on Jeffries. You know, like, it's just like,
gotcha.
You know, so, or you'd say like, if you said that, even if you work out of town, they're like, oh, so you like in Charleston, you know what I'm saying? So it's very
gotcha.
like, it's almost like when they ask you that, they're almost asking like for a location, you know, and when you can't like really give them one, they're like, oh, it's my bedroom. You know what I'm saying?
Need,
like, it's just a weird, it's a weird.
They basically need to place you in a box of some sort. And if you don't give them enough context, they're like,
but if I explain it a bit, people usually get it. Like, they'll be like, oh, okay, cool. You know, but it does feel, I think the reason why I say it's on the internet, it does feel remote to the area. Like, it's like I'm doing something that is not here, if that makes any sense.
Do you think in a certain way, when you tell people that you do it on the internet, you kind of get them off your back? Because oftentimes there'll be people who like, they don't get it. So and because they don't get it and they're embarrassed by maybe not getting it or being ignorant to some of it, they're like, oh, okay, cool. Because you might as well be speaking a different language to them, you know? Like,
yeah.
If I told my grandma or something like, oh, you know, like, there's this YouTube thing also I do. It
my grandma
means nothing.
She I had to explain to her what I did, and if I said like I rap to my grandma, you know, my grandpa was a preacher, so it would be a really weird, like, she wouldn't get it at all, you know. But when I explain it, like, I'd be like, well, this is how they want to know, like, how do you get paid, you know? And I'd be like, well, we sell records online and we do this and we do that and we do this, you know. And then with my grandma, I know her well enough that I can just like explain that frankly, and then she'd be like, oh, cool, you know. But
yeah. See, with me, I would use some of, like, I'd explain it partially, and I would use words like streaming revenue or YouTube and stuff like that, and it kind of would get people off my back. It would almost sometimes stop the questions because they don't know what kind of follow-up questions they should be asking because they're not very, you know, they're not learned on that particular subject matter. Yeah. So it's a good way of sometimes getting people off my back if I just don't want to get too many questions because I'm trying to do my own thing or whatever.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I feel like it's weird. It's it is kind of like, I don't want to be the person who hijacks that conversation when they ask and they just want to know like a simple thing. So I'll just be like, I rap on the internet.
Yeah.
You know, and
okay, that's good. That's true. You don't want to be like, I rap, and you cross your arms like, all right, questions?
Yeah. Go on. Like, you know.
You want to know how interesting my life is? Go ahead.
This is an AMA
are you perplexed?
Now.
Are you shocked?
Yeah, I just think it's weird. It's weird being like someone who does something like that in a small town in general, just because it's like it's like you don't really belong. So
kind of going back, answering my own question, because it kind of ties in with everything we just said. For me, rapping for a living is mostly full of upsides, you know, for sure. Everything we've listed, I don't need to keep going over that. But in terms of downsides, there's very few. I would just say sometimes I wish I could I could just say I rap and that would kind of be it. And I'm fortunate enough to surround myself usually with creative or like-minded individuals that kind of do leave it at that. Or if they do ask me questions, it's questions that are actually kind of interesting or valid. You know what I'm saying? So the only downside is sometimes when I kind of almost feels like in when I say that I rap, it's almost like an invitation for people to stoke my narcissism. If you see what I'm saying, right? It's kind of like, because you are inviting people to ask more questions because they're not, mostly likely not familiar with either what you're doing, or you're kind of like, oh, I rap, and it's like, oh, okay, got it. So you're like a person within the arts or entertainment. So, oh yeah, what did you do? Or like, give me a link, or blah, blah, blah. You see what I'm saying? I feel like, I don't like that. I don't like feeling like I want people to ask me to share music with them or ask me to share something with them. I'm not looking for that, but it sure feels like sometimes in me just saying that that's what I do, it's as if like I'm indirect. I feel like sometimes people ask because they feel guilty if they don't. Like they feel like maybe they'd be rude, or maybe I'm just projecting that onto them. But sometimes I sort of get that sense. And that's probably really the only downside. Everything else I love about it.
I would say that in regards to what you just said, I try to make it a point. I feel like you can kind of read the room in a sense of like you can say that to someone, like, yeah, I rap, blah, blah, blah. But then I try to like after that, try to change the subject kind of quickly. Because like,
true, that's a good idea.
If they really want to know what you do, or they want to know more about what, they want to hear your stuff, they'll be like, no, hold up. And they'll go back to that. And I've noticed that people will do that. Like they'll be, hold up, let's talk about that. You know what I'm saying? Or if you keep going, then it's kind of like, we know now that they don't really care. They just want to like have a conversation with you. You know what I'm saying? And that's fine. I'd actually kind of prefer that. But I do think that there's a point, because I think that when you talk to people about what you do, especially if it's like creative, I think it is important to be excited about it. I think that having that energy is good. It makes it better for you and better people around. But it's like, when do you be excited about it? Like, that's the point. Like when is the point when we start talking about music, or when is the point when we just continue on? So that's why I try to change the subject kind of quick.
Yeah.
And
well, especially because like we were in the position not too long ago at all. And any moment, who knows, maybe we could return eventually to that position where we were working jobs where we were miserable. I feel like we were just very fortunate in finding what it is that we love. A lot of people are miserable in their jobs, but they don't even know what they want to do in life. They're not sure, and they feel like they're not good at anything. And it's, it's not true. It's not ever true, but it's true. It's that feeling is very real for a lot of people. So when you just tell people, God, I get to do what I love and something that I'm good at, and fuck, it's so amazing. It just feels bad because it's like I'm gloating. But at the same time, I do want to celebrate it, And it's just, I guess, as you're right. It's about reading the room and maybe celebrating it in private or in the presence of your friends who get it, or again, like I could celebrate it when I talk to you because you're not going to feel some type of way because you feel the exact same way as I do.
Yeah.
But,
well, it's like, it's weird because like, I don't know. I don't even look at it like a way of like gloating, because if, like I said, like if they want to know more, they'll ask. And if they do, I think a lot of times I look at it from the perspective of someone who is asking. And if I were talking to someone and they were like, yeah, I rap, of course I would want to know more as a person. Just I would want, anytime anyone says anything creative, I want to know about it, just because
same.
It's a good thing to talk about. I like making things. I like seeing people make things, but I do think that, it's easy. I think it's easier to read the room if you just try to put yourself in the person's shoes, which I know you do. I know you think about it a lot. Like just in general, I think you think about like social interactions more than I do.
Sometimes I think I think mostly to my own detriment, because even though I do that, sometimes I feel like I do it too much retroactively rather than going into a conversation or being in a conversation. Like even earlier in this podcast when we were talking about it, and I was just smiling and feeling so excited, like, oh my God, that's right. Like it's a dream come true.
Yeah.
You know, there's very few things that would change about our current situation. And it's not like we're millionaires or anything either, you know? It's just we get to do what we love. And I was feeling so good about it. And then as the conversation went on, I felt like, man, am I just rubbing it into the faces of people that aren't necessarily certain about what they want to do in life? But, you know, it took me so many years to get to the point where I think I finally opened my eyes and realized what it is that I wanted to do and not what I wanted or what I thought everyone else wanted me to do. And then some people just, it takes them a lot longer to figure out for themselves what they want to do. And so when I talk about the things that I love doing, I hope it doesn't come across as just me, you know, being arrogant and like, look at me, my life's awesome. It's more so I'm just very thankful.
I don't think it's like that at all, though, dude. It's just your life. You're talking about your life. It's not like you're sitting there going like, oh, well, where do you work? Oh, you're a bartender? Fix me my drink while I fucking make a song about it. You're like, no, you're not being an asshole about it. Like, I think that you're just generally like, you're a nice guy. Like, I never like
Thanks,
fucking,
man.
I never leave a conversation with you and be like, wow, he was just talking about himself the whole fucking time. Like, it's never like that. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, man, thank you. That means a lot. I always feel like that's what people do and think.
Nah, it's not like that. I think that you just analyze it you post analyze. You analyze it in post a lot. And I think that it's not necessarily good to do that, because you're gonna sit here and rack your brain about what if I said this, what if I said that, what if I didn't say that instead, and you'll go into the next conversation. It's just gonna like not be like authentically you anymore. It's gonna be like your anxiety talking. You know what I mean? And that's
and pulling back, and I'm not sure, filtering myself because I don't know what to say to redeem myself in the eyes of the listeners.
Exactly. And I'm just saying, like, whatever you have to say is better than whatever your anxiety has to say.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that. And honestly, I don't know about you, but I feel so much more confident now than when we first started doing this podcast. And I feel like I still got a long way to go. I think I still pull back on certain things and I filter myself in many ways because I'm not entirely comfortable with just being myself in such a public forum. I say that, and like, my music is the most personal thing. You know, if you really listen to my music, you know how I think. If you like listen to what I say, then you know how I think. And yet, when it comes to a podcast, and I'm not putting it in like a poetic way, I feel a lot more stressed out about being myself around others. And so early on when we started doing this podcast, I was kind of really thinking about what am I going to say, how I'm going to say it, what am I supposed to do, like how would people perceive it? And as time goes on, I sort of feel more and more comfortable with just being me. And I'm sure actually in time, I will get to a point where I get to be really, really me on here without feeling like I'm fucking up every few words. And I definitely have a lot. I have you to thank for it, of course, because I don't know. You've never made me feel weird because when it's just you and me, I talk how I talk. You know, slightly different to how I talk here on the podcast, but I am myself, and I never feel like you judge me. And if there's anything that you know, that if there are any real concerns, I trust you to just like be upfront with me, and I've always tried to be upfront with you.
Yeah, for sure.
And
dude.
I also have the audience to thank for it too, because
oh, fuck those guys.
I honestly thought everyone was gonna hate me. Like when we were starting this podcast off, we're putting everything into place. I just thought, okay, well, everyone's gonna love Bill because he's such a nice guy.
Such a cute fucker, you know? They're going to look at him and be like, look at this piece of meat, you know?
But you're funny. You're funny. You are a genuinely good person, you know? I appreciate everything you said about me, but I know you to be a very good person. And I know in the past I've said you're almost like a Goku type.
Oh, thanks, man.
And I never meant to say it in a way that you're dumb or something.
Or that like I don't care about my sons.
But it's more so... It's just that I feel like you and who you are happens to be an actually nice person. And with me, I've kind of wrestled with that. And so I thought, man, people are going to see right through me, or people are going to dislike me. They're going to be like, he's unfunny. You know, many different things. Again, I was projecting my own insecurities onto what I thought the audience's reaction would be. And
yeah, no, I feel that 100%. I mean, it's like that anytime you do any kind of creative venture, I feel like you're going to have like a little bit of that, but especially like when you're sitting here talking, and that's the whole point of people listening is like you're putting your personality on display. Of course, you're going to be like a little bit like nervous about it. I think you more so than me, because I think you have more social anxiety than I do. I do to some extent. But it's usually I have this feeling that I'm going to blank out. Like I'm not going to know what to say.
Right.
Because when I sit here and think about being on or being funny or being like interesting, when I think about it, I'm not. Like I completely blank. So that's my thing, is like, I feel like if I have to think about it, that's why when we go into this, I just don't think. I'm just like, let's go. You know, and I think the less I think, the more. This is why the first part of the podcast I just go for 5 minutes straight. You know, but no, I think it's better in my head when I think less about things. I can be a better everything, like rapper, talker, you know, whatever. I think that you're you think a lot more in the moment or after the moment, but I don't think that either way, I don't think it's like even to your detriment, in a sense of like, I think that you're fine on the podcast. Like everyone likes you, like you're a cool guy. Like people like hearing you talk, and people like hearing you rap. You know, you're interesting. You're a very interesting person. Just in general, like everything about you is very. That was one thing that in LA that I know I talked to you about this in LA, but I felt like when I was next to you, I was like at my most powerful, because this other person who is very different to me, like upbringing, everything, but we have this like, it's like when we're like together, I'm like, I'm with him, this guy's cool, so I'm cool. And I think there was kind of like this energy that we were both like, I felt like I fed off of you, and you might have fed off of me.
I feel the same way. No, definitely, for sure. Because it's like, because I also thought like, okay, well, this guy, if you are like validating something I'm doing, you're like, dude, that was fucking cool. I don't need anyone else to tell me that was cool. You know, I'm like, that's it. That was cool for sure. Because I trust you, because you are someone who is cool. And as I just said earlier, very honest. So definitely, I would very much agree.
You need somebody. We need a third person though to like keep us in check. You know,
square.
So I just got this idea. We hire Harrison Ford. Hear me out. Okay? Harrison Ford follows us around, and anytime I validate you, he invalidates you.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, you show me a verse, and he's just there, just kind of cooling in the back, you know? And I'm just like, yo, that verse is really good. And then he's just like, I don't know about that.
Let's do that. Let's do that. And just to add to
the... It'll be good. I just imagine him looking like all like kind of pissed. I don't know, like not pissed, but like,
I don't know,
you know, just like, just like kind of unimpressed, you know?
Well, yeah, just like, well, I don't, just that, you know, like, oh, fuck, he hates it. It.
Well, he doesn't even say that he hates it. He's just kind of like, oh, I don't know.
But just to like, you know, my final point on that would be, thank you guys as well for being so accepting, and really appreciate you guys, and I will continue to open up and be more so myself as time goes on, and I look forward to you guys eventually hating me. So I have something I wanted to elaborate on regarding the podcast.
Do it.
So the other day, I retweeted something this person named Stefani Fu said. She is on Twitter at I'm on the radio. Oh, I'm on the radio. Damn, I sound so stupid.
You sound like a boomer. I'm on the radio.
I am definitely a boomer. So, writing an investigative memoir about complex PTSD. Okay, so they worked for Complex. freelance audio editor, former producer. Okay, so her tweet was, and it was kind of like it kind of made the rounds a little bit on the internet. Normal cost of a 15-minute long story at a major storytelling podcast. And then she breaks it down into sort of bullet points. 2 months, 6 pre-interviews, 3 interviews, 7 hours of tape, 10 drafts, 2 to 4 edits, each 1 to 4 hours long with 2 to 5 editors in the room each time. 2 days of mixing and scoring. Don't lowball us.
Oh, she hit it with the big claps.
That's how you're supposed to read it. That's how you're supposed to read it, because it's don't
lowball us.
Yeah.
That's how you read it. It's not just like don't lowball us. It's don't.
No. It's in
us.
between. Yeah, it's in between.
So it sounds
for
like
sure.
like a hoedown's about to go like doom, doom, doom. Don't lowball
And
us.
so I retweeted it saying only 2 to 5 editors. We use at least 8 for every episode of the We Don't Suck podcast. Don't get me started on the writing staff. And so I've gotten a couple
You're
of...
such an asshole.
I've gotten a couple of tweets in response that really I wanted to get back to. There were 2 tweets. One was, you for real? ? Genuinely curious. And another tweet was, I can't tell if this is a joke or not. So I'm just going to come clean, guys. It was a joke. We don't use 8 editors for every episode of the We Don't Suck podcast.
It's 12.
That would be insane. We use
12.
a dozen. Correct. We use a dozen because that's the only way we can, put out a weekly podcast of this caliber. We actually record on calculators, and then we have like 20 editors trying to make it sound like we're recording on studio microphones,
Yeah.
And
we also have to edit out like the various slurs that Rav yells out that I can't say.
But I can, as a person of color.
He can say it. I definitely can't. So we edited that out. Let's just say, there's some stuff we got to talk about, So
there's also the writing staff is just, they rarely ever get to sleep. Like half of the staff will be writing throughout the day, then they go to sleep during the night, and the other half of the staff will pick up the writing from what the afternoon staff were working on, right? And so they do that, and I'm actually reading this off of a script right now. Everything up until now we've been saying, even when we, go in circles and repeat certain things or make stupid jokes or burp on accident and fuck up, and this is all part of the script. Good. The timing on that was perfect, Bill. And it's funny that I'm commenting on that.
Stephanie did a really good job when she wrote that. It's also this part that I'm talking about. Stephanie is also scripted. Stephanie,
she's also written that, and what I'm saying right now, she's been working a lot. Stephanie is great and should get a raise. Wait, what's this? Anyway, we're gonna need to talk to Stephanie about that. Anyway, so
I can't believe she wrote that down.
We have. Yeah, I can't. With the nerve. Well, I guess we're gonna have to give her a raise. Well, so we do have a lot of editors. We have like a dozen on average. We sometimes sort of outsource editors and writing staff, and sometimes we don't even record these episodes. We get our stunt doubles to do it, and actually we do it almost every other episode. And you guys have never noticed.
You never noticed because that's the quality of the editors and the writing that Stephanie has done.
Honestly, we do nothing. Just all of our editors, writers, and
we don't even rap.
Our stun doubles. No, also stun doubles for sure. Yeah, it's life is good. And
I'm just kicking back in my chair in Maui, just dreaming smoking a big fat blunt and talking to you about how we should give Stephanie a raise.
It says here I have to yell another slur.
I mean, you gotta go with the flow, brother.
Dingus.